Go.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Sunday Q&A. We take your comments and we answer them here live for us, not for you guys. But
you're dressed nice for a Sunday morning.
I know, right? This is my after workout gear.
And you shaved it. Did you shave?
No, yesterday. But yeah, no, gotta keep shaving that back.
Okay.
Anyway, off topic. So first of all, actually, want to say we hit 15,000 subscribers the other day.
Get excited about that.
We were actually we were so we were at the Leaf game on Saturday night when we hit it.
You're letting people know.
We had decided
not Saturday night.
Well, sorry, Thursday night. Thursday night. Yes, Thursday night.
Yes.
So we were at the Leaf game Thursday night, and instead of watching our boys in blue, because that didn't end up going so well, we were watching our YouTube channel. We have 15,000 subscribers. So
that was more exciting than watching the game.
That was much more exciting. But
thank you, everybody.
We want to thank you guys so much for all your support. Never thought we'd be at that point, but here we are.
Exactly.
So another thing I want to bring up, let's just get rid of the housekeeping items before we start.
It's all yours. Let me know when you need me back.
Yeah, I'll let you know. But so we really like the idea that last week we filmed our Sunday video in one of our listings.
Yeah.
And
turned out well.
Yeah. But we like the idea of trying to get a little more interactive. And what we were thinking was, what if one of these kind of Q&A videos, I don't know when, I don't know what time, I don't know where, but what if we were to do one of these live where we can have, some guests on here, a guest is in some of the folks that watch, and you can ask and get your questions answered live. So we're thinking about that.
So would they like come on the screen live, or is it just them messaging live, or and we answer live? Like how would you see that going?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be them being on screen, but maybe they can be like there as a part of the show. I know some people might be a little camera shy, but maybe they can be there and they can ask their question, and like the camera would still be on you, and maybe it's something we do as a live type video on Sunday morning.
The questions come in, and as they roll in, we deal with them.
Yeah, something like that. But that might be interesting.
There's YouTube Live. There's Facebook Live. We got to figure that out.
Facebook. You're showing your age with Facebook.
What? People don't say Facebook anymore?
But yeah, so
Someone should tell Mark Zuckerberg that he's a has-been.
If you think that might be a good idea, let us know in the comments. We'd be curious to know your thoughts on that. But let's get right into the comments here.
The reason we're here today. Let's go.
We're here.
Comment number 1.
So first comment comes from Alil 2005, and Alil says, "Great content. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question, wish you can address it. Why are assignment sellers stubborn? Yet worse, realtors helping them are not helping the situation."
What do you think he means by that?
Well, why are assignment sellers stubborn? And then I guess realtors...
I'm not sure what he means by stubborn. If he means, why aren't they dropping their prices further? Because they're losing their shirt, and they don't want you to take their pants too. So, like, and I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong, but I think that's what he's getting at. If they're stubborn, they're stubborn, and, like they want to sell on assignment, but how much do they want to lose? Or are they prepared to lose? I guess maybe that's what he's getting at. And you might be stubborn too if you were in that situation. And I'm not laughing to make light of it. It's pretty serious when, you planned and you saved up this money and you put it down on a condo or any pre-construction. It could be a pre-construction detached, and then you find out the value just isn't there. Mm-hmm. And whether you're selling on an assignment because that was the initial plan, or something's changed and you're kind of forced to sell it on assignment, either way, lots of people are getting burnt on that, where the value is less than what they bought it a few years ago. And so they're going to be stubborn along the way and reducing their prices.
And the one thing that you did not mention, which I know that if you don't mention in the comments, someone will mention it for you, is a lot of that money that people used for these assignments came from their own equity of their own place, right?
Yes.
So they're still paying that off as they're making payments on that as the money is
at elevated interest rates.
Yeah.
And so they've been taking a beating there. And what he continued to comment saying something about agents.
Yet worse, realtors helping them and are not helping the situation.
Well, look, the whole assignment transaction, it's not as straightforward as a typical resale,
Yeah.
Buy and sell. A lot of realtors don't know how, and they fumble along the process. So maybe that's part of the problem, that it's more technically involved in an assignment sale. But,
Also, pricing is harder to do with
much harder. It's not like you could just pull up a whole bunch of assignment sales. Oh, the last one sold like this, just like your unit. You don't get that.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from Clausoon. And Clausoon, the past 2 weeks videos, has left some really nice comments about, this is the person who had their it was like 90 plus condo checklist.
Yes.
But Clausoon, the story comes to an end because Clausoon says, I bought a condo today.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Clausoon. Hopefully this means I'll never have to watch one of your videos again.
We lost Clausoon?
I enjoyed it while it lasted, though. That's funny. So
Clausoon, you could watch.
There was another comment underneath that which said, yeah, I bought a condo too, but I still watch these videos. They're awesome. But Clausoon makes it sound like they didn't enjoy our videos, like it was a homework they had to do.
Like it was a punishment?
Yeah, like it was homework.
Clausoon, please, can you, if this happens to be the last one you watch, can you just, in the comments, let us know how much you enjoyed them? And if you didn't enjoy them, just don't comment at all. We'll just assume you enjoyed them.
Yeah, if we don't see your comments, you didn't enjoy it. But whatever you do, please don't subscribe. Don't unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe. I leave it there.
We just hit 15,000.
We hit 15. We don't want to go to 14.99.
Oh boy. Okay, so next comment here.
Clausoon's still busy moving. That's why.
Yeah, so we might not get a comment from him. But anyways, so next comment here comes from Mark D. And Mark says, I would like to, I should preface this by saying this was with regards to the downsizing, going into a bungalow, but a bungalow actually costs more than the house you're selling. Anyways.
Yeah.
Mark D.
Tough situation.
Yeah. Mark D says, I would like to give you another option for the seniors with the paid off house and want a bungalow. What about selling the house and put the money in something safe like a GIC, then rent a bungalow? You never said how much the house is worth, but if it's over $1 million, the interest alone would pay for the rent, and I'm sure even more if the house is over $1.5 million. So they would live for free and get paid to live there.
That's a possibility. It depends on how comfortable the old timers are in renting. Some people have owned for years and years and years, and it's kind of planted in there. That word rent is like, oh, don't say that word. It's taboo to them, and they're uncomfortable. Plus, you get to a certain age, you're also, for some people, they see it as an unstable situation where you move and then the owner of the home has other plans, maybe wants to move back in. And I can see for some that being a problem, renting. It's not something they just see it as not something they don't want to do. And others will be okay with it. That's a good, viable option. And if anybody's having this thought process of downsizing to a bungalow and purchasing just doesn't, make financial sense, renting is definitely an option that should be put on the table.
Yes. And I think that's the big thing. When I was looking at this comment and I pulled it out, it's
plus they'd have all the money from the sale of their home sitting in their bank account.
Yeah, but the one thing I thought of is, in the past, I'm going to say 2 years at least, it's been very unstable for tenants in properties that we go to see on the buy and sell end, right? So we've gone to properties where the tenant was within 6 months they're being told, hey, listen, we need to sell it. Right. Yeah. And I think that would be a tough situation. I mean, it makes sense on paper. This all makes sense. But I think that would be a tough situation for a lot of seniors. And plus, the availability of rentable bungalows. I mean, you can find a lot of two-story homes that are for rent, but just because there's so many fewer bungalows,
that home type is hard to find.
Yeah.
There's just like you said it exactly right. There's fewer of them, so buying and renting is still going to be a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from Abhinav Gwar. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but they say, how come a larger home in the same neighborhood is less costly than a small house bungalow? ? Is it because the bigger house was older and smaller house was newer?
Not in this situation, but that could be a factor depending on which neighborhood you're looking at. Many of the bungalows you'll find, some of them may even have a similar square footage to the two-story, except the two-story has the square footage built over 2 stories.
Just on a much smaller footprint, basically.
It's a smaller footprint. Where the bungalow has it all on one, it's a larger footprint. Many times that means a wider lot. And there's a cost to having a wider lot. It's just more expensive. There's all sorts of factors. Sometimes the bungalow is newer, like you said. Sometimes it's a wider lot. Sometimes, and often is the case, there's, 200, 300, 400 two-story homes in the neighborhood, 5 bungalows.
Yeah.
And so when that bungalow comes up, the demand part of the amount of how many people actually trying to buy it is a factor.
And I remember we sold the home, what was it? In the past 2 years, I think it was, but it was in Sonoma Heights in York region. And I remember specifically that particular area had 5 detached for sale at the time, and they had 1 bungalow, and there was one house that was really nice, but the rest were all fairly original. The bungalow also was fairly original, and it was like $300,000 more than any of the detached. Right. But I guess it just comes with lack of inventory there. But okay, next comment here comes from Echab Buwal. I must be massacring.
I'm ready.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
But they say, that's why I've booked a new home with lift option. It is roughed in, but I will get the lift installed when needed.
I'm surprised they don't build more homes like that. By lift, for those of you that don't know, he means elevator, and I'm surprised, to be honest, because that would be a really simple, and if you either rough it in or actually build it in, fully functional during the construction process, the design process right from the beginning, it's actually fairly inexpensive. It's. I mean, people will spend more on upgrading their kitchens many times than they are, what would it cost to put an elevator in here? Doing it after the fact could be very costly and very ugly. Like where do you put it? Okay, you got to lose this closet, and then it ends up in the hallway in the middle, or right, in the middle of the basement, and it's just not so nice. But designed from the beginning, I'm surprised that they don't do this more often. I see it personally as a great solution. Yeah,
and we're seeing more homes like you obviously think about elevator in a home. You think of your
fancy pants,
fancy big mansions. Yeah, but we're seeing a lot of more regular type homes with elevators installed, just for the exact reason we talked about in that video. Just wanting to extend the use of their home and being able to use most of their home or all of their home.
If you had an elevator and you can go top floor right down to the basement, like why stairs wouldn't be an issue anymore.
Exactly. So we're seeing more of those. So I think that will get more popular. But anyways, okay. So next comment here comes from Louis Martin 4446.
Why do you got a smirk on your face? You haven't even read the comment yet.
I read it.
I know
already.
you read
I read it.
You
already.
haven't read it out loud. Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Lewis is a strong advocate for wanting us to speed up our video.
Oh, this is he ends with the Italian there.
Yeah.
Parle poco, dici tanto.
Yeah. So, exactly. But he says, Santo, you repeat yourself. If you kept your videos to 5 minutes, you would double your viewers.
5 minutes. It's hard for me to say hello in less than 3 minutes.
I know.
You want me to comment on that?
You got to comment on it. I mean, he's leaving this comment under multiple videos.
That's right. That's right. I read that before. What's his name?
Lewis.
Lewis or Luis.
Louise.
One of the two.
I don't know.
You and my wife complain about the same thing.
And me too sometimes.
And him too. And I'm doing it now. I'm thinking of my words. I'm choosing my words. I don't want to be misunderstood. The time is what it is. That's what it takes me to explain. I want to tell in detail the situation that I'm explaining, the situation I found myself in, to properly and fully explain it to you so everybody understands. And with that, I still get misunderstood sometimes, but that's how it is. I don't see myself doing the whole video in 5 minutes. It's difficult, and you know, the stories we tell or the situations we describe, we do cut them down actually. So I can go on and on some of those.
It's true. But a little tip for you, Lewis. There's a little. It looks like a gear at the bottom right corner of the video, and you click that gear, and it'll open a bunch of options. You click the one that says playback speed, and then you go down to 2x. You click 2x, and then your video will go down to close to 5 minutes. It still won't be 5 minutes.
Well, cut it in half, right? It double the speed. It'll cut it in half. You want to watch it in 30 seconds? Go to 20x.
No, 2x is the most, but it's you just have to try and listen faster. But give it a try.
Listen faster.
Give it a try. But underneath that comment, we had a comment from Sukhjit Singh who says, "You cannot explain the situation and give a weekly update in 5 minutes."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Surjit?
No, Sukhjit.
Sajit?
Sukhjit.
Sukhjit. Thank you, Sukhjit. Appreciate it.
Been watching Santo since he started. Really genuine and a great person with awesome content. Appreciate the information.
It's true what he says.
Yeah, thank you, Sukhjit. And under that comment, James IMCB says, "Longer videos provide better monetization."
Monetization. Every now and then we get the monetization comment.
Know. They think that this is like, I don't know. James, I assure you that the reason why our videos are a little bit longer, I guess, is not because of the extra 0.0004 cents that we make on 1,000 views. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with the monetization. If you spoke to him in person, you'd realize it's just how he talks.
It's just how I talk.
Anyways, next comment here comes from Truthman1. And Truthman1 says, "I do like your videos. You bring up some real life challenges and difficult choices that people have to make."
Stop there. Thank you.
"Unfortunately, Ontario is weird. In Montreal, they have so many duplexes, triplexes, and quadplexes that if you own the full unit, you could downsize to one of your smaller units and rent out the rest. Usually the main unit has a ground floor unit and a basement, and then there's a bachelor's/basement unit and 2 units above the ground floor unit. Ontario has been kind of backwards in some ways and advanced in other ways in terms of housing design."
You're totally right, and I've seen that. From time to time, we visited Montreal, and I've been through neighborhoods where, you know, there's fourplexes, like just the whole neighborhood is practically like that. And I don't know what to say there. Toronto hasn't kind of gone that route. We have a home for sale right now. This is a perfect segue
look at that.
to plug our new listing. Good job, Danny. We have it's a duplex with a legal basement, so it's kind of like a triplex basically. And the sellers, actually, our clients, that's what they did. They lived on one floor, rented the other 2 apartments, so it's 3 apartments in total. And that's what they did, and they kind of grew that way, and then went out and bought their own home, and then had the whole thing rented. So yeah, there are viable options out there. Not a lot of people want to live that way.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a great way to especially when you're starting off. It's a great, and it's a great way also if you're getting back to earlier, we were talking bungalows. If you have one of these where one of the apartments is like main floor, what a great way to supplement your retirement.
Yeah.
Right? You have one of these homes, you live on the main, you've got the other rented, and yeah, it's I think they're viable. I think they're great, but you're right. We don't have that many of them here, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from R. Floman63. And R. Floman says, what, if any, effect do you see the National Association of Realtors ruling in the United States having here, with both commissions and the changing role and responsibility of the buyer's agent? I have a friend who is a longtime agent in Las Vegas, and he has decided to pull the pin on his career because of the new NAR rules.
I'm not an expert at these rules. What I have read, I know it's not going to change much. If it was to come and duplicate itself here, it's not going to change much how we operate. I also am familiar with, and I speak with a few realtors that I've developed relationships with in the States. Lots of them have no issues. In fact, their business has become better. But then there's others, like your friend, unfortunately, where it's just not working out for them. So like anything, we adapt, we pivot. This is a NAR rule. It could have been something else. Our business, any business, all businesses always, climate changes, things change, opinions change. You pivot, you adapt. Anyone who's a realtor should be having an entrepreneurial spirit and be able to adapt and maneuver and do a better job. So, I don't have any issues at all with it. But yeah, some people are going to be hurt and some people are going to thrive.
Yeah. We were talking about that recently, actually, the whole change in the business when it came to, let's say, Uber in the taxi industry, Airbnb and the hotel industry.
Yeah,
now
very disruptive.
Yeah, very disruptive. And now those Airbnb rentals.
They're sweating. Woo, they're sweating. I bought just for Airbnb. Now it's a problem. They're sweating.
Yeah, but anyways, so next, last comment here comes from Kando234, and Kando says, "Hey,
Kando or can do?
Oh yeah, you know what? It's probably can do.
Can do.
It's probably can do. But Kando says, "Hey Santo, thanks for doing what you do.
You're welcome.
I am a recent immigrant with no clue about North American real estate market. Your vlogs are very informative for a novice like me. You are doing a social service for people like me."
Thank you. I'm glad you're getting something out of it. Thank you very much. That was what our show is intended to do.
Yes. So that ends it for today. Thank you so much for all your comments throughout the week. And leave your comments in this video. Again, please, if you made it this far, if the suggestion we had at the beginning about doing one of these live, let us know if that's a good idea.
Let us know what you think about that if we do this live. And again, thank you to the 15,000 now plus subscribers.
Yes.
Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. There's 5,000 of you more out there somewhere. We want to get to 20,000 next.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Have a great weekend, everybody.